And we are live. We are live. We'll just wait till some people come online. It should start automatically. I'll let the adverts catch up first. YouTube and their adverts. So big night at massive night at Celtic Park. Paul Emery is in the house. 15 people online. We are live. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. What about the team? And what is it with Celtic releasing the team earlier than an hour before the game? They're now releasing it about an hour and 10 minutes before the game. The big news tonight, obviously, is the fact that Turnbull starts the game. Evening Pam, evening James, evening Paul. Paul McEwen, I don't know if you're still around, and Stephen's heading off to the game. The team is obviously still along the bottom. Hart, Johnson, Phillips, Scales. It's interesting that Phillips is playing. Scales, McGregor. No Cameron Carter-Vickers. Is that to keep him for the Champions League? So there's two massive changes, obviously, to the team. Hail from Germany. Get in there, Steve. Turnbull. Forgot Turnbull plays for us, but the big news is Cameron Carter-Vickers isn't playing. Was Cameron Carter-Vickers looking a bit? No, he was a bit weary at the weekend, but it was obviously wanting to keep him fresh, trying to keep him fresh for the Champions League, make sure that nothing happens. But that's two massive calls for Brendan Rodgers. Basically, I mean, we'll go through the team again: Hart, Johnson, Phillips, Scales, Taylor, McGregor, O'Reilly, Turnbull, Forrest, Palmer, and Kyogo. So, I mean, there's another one. Is Midas dropped down to the bench also? So we're finally getting this squad rotation. That is all about. It's going to be an interesting night at Celtic Park, obviously, with no Green Brigade, and the Green Brigade put out a statement. We're not going to talk about that just now. It is all about the football. When you look at the players on the bench, you've got Bain, Yang, Ohm, Big Rocky, Tomoki Awata, Bernardo, Maida, and Ralston. Is it a strong bench? No pace in that lineup, so it's smell the glove. You know, when you think about it, it shows you how bad these players are that have came in. When we've got to rely on the likes of Turnbull, who's been here for a few years now, and the James Forrest. Now, James Forrest, according to the stats that have came out of Celtic Park, James Forrest is still the fastest player off the mark. He's still one of the fastest players at Celtic. Baz, he wasn't in the training video clip. Now, that's an interesting one, Joseph. I never noticed that one, that he wasn't in the training. I hope it's not an injury. Big Rocky is coming back. He is on the bench, but we don't need any more injuries. Maybe they're just giving the players, maybe they're just giving them a little rest. The fact that Dyson, I mean, he looked a bit knackered as well. The players are playing a lot of high tempo games. And then obviously next week there's Madrid. And there is some breaking news for that. Obviously, I will be doing videos from Madrid. Celtic Board of Disgrace. Yeah, Paul, that's it is what it is. I've been through this before. Long time ago. This will upset the haters. So now, this scarf also on the back of it had this. There's not many of these scarves still kicking around, I tell you that. And there is where Neil Lennon placed the championship trophy right down in front of us. There's not many of these scarves still kicking around. So I hope you enjoy that. And the fact I have 3 of them. Yep, Lanky, that's an original Green Brigade scarf, and I've got 3 of them. Because there was 3 of us that went to the games at the time. So yeah, it's a cracker of a scarf. It's and one of them is one of them's got a Celtic player on it. It's got two Celtic players have signed it. One of them was a Celtic defender that went to Aberdeen. Tell me who the player was. Um, he likes smashing Huns, put it that way, but he went to Aberdeen. They played it up in Aberdeen. 3-1 tonight says Stephen Kelly. Everyone knows where my allegiances lie has watched this channel since the beginning. I mean, the very first video that I did of Celtic was Neil Lennon getting made manager back in the day. So I fully back the boys. I know that they've been through it before. I know they'll be sitting at the Celtic Supporters Club tonight, and they will all be in Glasgow. They'll all be sitting in the Celtic Supporters Club, and they'll sit in the Celtic Supporters Club every game until they are back in the stadium. Right. Anyway, let's get back to the Celtic game tonight. When you look at the bench, we've got Yang, we've got Ohm, we've got Rocky, we've got O, we've got Tomoki Awata, we've got Bernardo, we've got Maida and Ralston. There's not many people on that bench that can change games, if you ask me. He's never going to change a game. He's not a game changing player. He's not a game changing player. Tonight's the night that we don't have a strong bench. We don't have a strong bench at all. In this morning's video, Barry Ferguson said that Celtic weren't as strong as last year, and I completely understand where he's coming from. When you look at the bench, the last couple of seasons, we've had benches that could frighten people. You had the likes of James Forrest that would come off the bench. You know, there was a lot of players a lot stronger. Do you have the fear for tonight? There's no creativity on that bench. When you look at it, you've got Maida that can come up. Paulo Bernardo's not got anything. He's never showed. It's another player. Remember your exclusive bad Lennon was sacked. You were a month early. I was a month early. Don't remind me of that. Yeah, don't remind me of that. You've watched this channel far too long. Anyway, up the good guys, and it's only diluting juice I'm drinking. When we look at the bench, will Turnbull do it tonight? It's a big night for Turnbull. He has to turn on the style tonight. He has to prove that he's worth this new contract. The fact that tonight, of all nights, that's all right, Ian. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. You nearly said that you agreed with greetings faced Ferguson. I know. I nearly said understood where he was coming from. I said, but when you look at the bench, Yang, he's never going to. He might come on. Will he come on for Palma? I think Palma will last the 90 minutes of this. But then again, the manager tonight, don't be surprised if the manager does make a lot of changes tonight. Don't be surprised if the manager makes a lot of changes thinking to Tuesday night's game. So I would say 70th minute, you probably get Turnbull coming off, you'll get Palma coming off, and maybe even Kyogo. If the score is right, you'll get those players coming off just to give them some game time. It is a bit of a worry that it is such a poor bench, but the fact that Phillips and Scales just don't do it for me. You know, Phillips and Scales together could be a frightening one. Turnbull is really bad effect on our shape. He's slow and he's unfit. I'm not too sure about him being unfit, but he definitely slows the game down. Which is it's going to be interesting. So, what's your score predictions? Now that we've seen the team, there was a lot of score predictions last night saying around about 3 or 4-0. Barry Fergie might have been one of them, but I can see he just says it like this or something. Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't like he's always good for a bit of banter, but he's kind of calmed down now. He's not as bigoted as what he used to be. Paul Baird says, let's hope there's plenty of support shown from Celtic fans for Palestine tonight. Show the Tory board who's to blame. Reece Bell gets right into it, right? 2-1. Now that we've seen that lineup, Lanky's still saying 4-2. Lanky's still going for it. He thinks that we're going to go for it tonight. He reckons that. Can you really see 4 goals out of this team, Lanky? Come on. Turnbull's in midfield. Do we really think we've got 4 goals in us? Turnbull pulling. It could be the night. That Turnbull scores an absolute screamer. Could be the night that he scores an absolute screamer. Lorna is going for 3-1, and we will never sell our club for a pound. Is going for 2-1 Celtic. I think it's going to be a close game. Smell the glove. He is going for 2-1 Celtic. Also, I'm going to take Kyogo as first man to score. Palm is going for 3-1. That's an interesting one. 3-1 Celtic. Keep the faith. 2-0 for Celtic, said Vincent. You've got to remember, they scored 4 goals in their last game. They know the way to go. They did get off to a slow start in their last game also. Celtic come out the blocks tonight and on absolute fire. They need to come on. They need to come out the blocks on absolute fire tonight. We need to score quick. James Dillon is going for 3-1. David is going for 2-1. Uh, it's windy. It's up. Scales to score a belter, says in the heat of Lisbon. That would be a Scales. As long as Scales to score for a header, Chrissy has been really optimistic and probably realist. Chrissy is going for 1-0. 1-0. I think a 1-0 would take me. I would take that all day long. Mr. Turnbull will blow them away tonight. I'm sticking with Kyogo for 2-0. And Thomas says Turnbull will blow them away tonight. Well, do you think that Turnbull is this? A lot of people say maybe this is Turnbull's level. Big Dom, come on, don't do this to us. Big Dom's going straight in with a 0-0. We cannot have 2-0s in a row. We cannot let them close the gap anymore. It would be absolutely. It would give me the fear if that happened. 2-1 from Jason Kyogo, 2 goals. And O'Reilly says Lanky. Lanky is going for Turnbull to score tonight. I think he's got it in him. He has got it in him. He's got a long range shot on him. That's probably one of the reasons that he's played tonight. It could be the fact that just to give him the chance, give him that chance. We do need to make sure our best players are nice and fit for Tuesday evening to Madrid. And there will be lives coming from Madrid before the day before and the day of the game, and obviously an hour before the game as I go into the stadium, and then I'll try and see if we can do a live from inside the stadium. Where you'll see the Celtic fans hopefully inside the stadium also early. Right, back to tonight's game. Any win will do. Any win will. Hanley with his singing that. The hoops. Don't see any ball tonight. Do you think so? They're a good team. Got 2 Sean's going for 3-1. Ian is going for that's Sean for 3-1. Ian is going for 2. Paul Bear that's coming right out where he reckons it's going to be a tanking tonight. He reckons that the players are going to come out and just show the team, the fans what they can do, and make sure that they give the fans something to shout about, because the fans are going to have to make a noise tonight. The fans are going to have to make sure that the team know that they are there, because the Green Brigade won't be there. They won't be doing their normal singing for 90 minutes. Will Celtic Park be like a morgue at times tonight when maybe St Mirren are sitting back and Celtic can't break through? Will it be the case that the fans might go against them a bit? Will that be the case? I hope not. I hope it's not. I hope it's 4-0. I hope you're right, Paul. I hope you get a goal early on to settle the fans, because if it goes on, I could see it being a really disturbing night. Stuart's going for 2-0. Paul Emery is going for 3-1. Kevin is going for 3-1. And Slaven says, we will win tonight. We will win tonight. We'll be lucky. McGregor's our main man tonight. Hard time accepting that. Yeah, I think we've all had a hard time accepting that they are good, but they are where they are in the league. And merit, cheating, beating is the ref tonight. So penalty for St Mirren. That's it. Just knocked me down in one. I've not even had my tea yet, my dinner, and I'm having that as soon as I come off this before the game starts. Reece is trying to keep it optimistic, but a lot of players on the bench aren't good enough. Don't fit the first team. 2-1 is a realistic result, says Reece. I think you're right with that, Reece, because when you look, saying that, when you look at the bench, there's not really any goal scorers on the bench. Yang, Ohm, Rocky, Tomoki Awata, Bernardo, Maida, and Ralston. Where did the goals come from the bench? If it comes to the stage that we're in the 70th minute, and we're needing a goal to try and we're needing someone to come on and bring the fans up. Bench to me scares the living daylights of me. It's not the kind of bench that we've been used to the last 2 seasons before this one. It's gonna be really difficult. I've got to say it's gonna be a hard night's watch. If St Mirren sit back like they do, St Mirren sit back like they do, I think it's gonna be a long evening if Celtic don't score in the first 10 to 15 minutes. Any win will do, as Jason and Joseph. I was going to say Jason in the technical dream coat. Uh, that's who we need tonight. That's who we need tonight. Liam Scales scores. All of Ireland will rejoice. I'm taking Scales to score a cracker of a header sometime in the next couple of games. We need Scales to score a cracker of a header. He's had it in him a few times from a corner. He's had that odd one that's kind of went over the bar or is just it's hit off the back of a player. But I think it's going to be Scales will score a header at some point. Pam was just in the chat, scratching my head about Cameron Carter Vickers. It is unbelievable that Cameron Carter. Well, you can understand the manager is doing squad rotation to try and make sure the squad are as fresh as possible for Madrid on Tuesday evening. And I'm buzzing to go to Madrid. Got a little train journey up to Madrid on Monday, so looking forward to that. And the heat of Lisbon, been betting Scales to score since we played that lot. Big win tonight, says Peter. At least Rocky is on the bench. Yeah, that's it. Helen, we've got the channel. Helen, where you been? She's going for 2-0. 2-0. I don't agree. I think Phillips and Scales will make a good combination, says Patrick. Optimistically cautious tonight. I am optimistically cautious. I think we always win at Celtic Park, but it's going to be a hard night. It's going to be a hard night. Graham Hardy says he reckons it's going to be 3-0. He wasn't in the training videos. Yeah, I'm not a Phillips fan. The fact that Nat Phillips has been brought in for occasions like this to allow our players a little bit of respite before big games. That's the only reason Phillips was brought in, to make sure that, because we had the injuries, it could be the case that just make sure Cameron Carter Vickers, nothing happens to big CCV tonight, and make sure that he is fresh for the Champions League. Lankin's back. Do not underestimate the bill tonight. He will be up for it, especially since Rio had Tati out. It is his time to shine. His time to shine. Baz is pumping up. Helen, the boys group will be there. Yes, the boys group will be there, but they do not make. The boys group is a lot smaller than the Green Brigade section. The fact that there's a big chunk of the Green Brigade section being banned, it will reduce the atmosphere slightly. Well, just one set of drums. Let's just hope the boys and I know some of the guys from the boys, and I know that they will be in fine song tonight. My husband and son are off to Madrid. Baz, oh dear, oh dear. Well, you're dog sitting. You have a 4-day jolly. Lorna, why are you not going? My missus is going with me. She's coming up to Madrid with me. Pam is going for 3-1. Edward says he thinks that will take his chance. He's a big, strong lad. He's got it in him, in my opinion. Could score a hat trick. Edward, that's controversial because let's face it, they're not shipping a lot of goals. Yeah, we've got James Forrest in the team. Rambo, we've got James Forrest. What a woman along. Let's jump to. Sorry if I missed some of the comments. I thought Phillips made the difference in the second half against Madrid. That's because we went to 3 at the back. It's interesting that you say that, Kev. We did go to 3 at the back at that time, remember? And that's what made a bit of a difference. We are not playing 3 at the back tonight. We're playing 4 at the back against this St Mirren team. And, with Johnson, Phillips, Scales and Taylor there, it is only the only difference is Carter Vickers isn't there. We did go to 3 at the back for Madrid, and that's what made that little bit of a distance. Yes, Stephen, I'm going to jump through some of these. Will come off the bench to score tonight, says Paul. What a waste of money, Kuwon and Tillo. David, that's a chat for another day. That is a chat for another day. We should do a video just about the type of players that we will be getting rid of. Oh, we might have done that already, but we will be doing videos like that where we'll talk about the complete waste of monies that is at Celtic. Right, Michael Cairns is going for 2-0. I'm waiting for Bernardo to score a rasper from 40 yards. Well, you're gonna have to wait tonight because Paulo Bernardo is on the bench. Paulo Bernardo is on the bench tonight. I think he will come on just to give him that little bit of game time so that he is ready for the Champions League exploits next week. Rambo is going for 2-1. Made it clear in January, says David. Yep, we do that. Hopefully, Jamesy bangs in a hat trick tonight. Jamesy can score goals coming in from the wing as well. We have to remember that. So when you look at it, we've got players that can score that's coming in from the wing. I mean, you've got Palmer that can come in from the wing. You've also got Forrest, and then you've got Turnbull and O'Reilly have all got goals in them. But it's up to the main man for Kyogo to make sure that we get off to a flying start. Kevin is going for 4-0. Something today is going for 1-0. I'd love to see James score, says Jason Lee. Poor mid to front, says Kevin. Pretty poor from the midfield to the front. We do have a lot of. There's two ways to look at it. You could say that we're poor with the way that we play, or it's an experienced team. It's only recently that you would say that this was kind of a poor team. Years gone by, you would have said that this was an experienced Celtic team. They've been there and done it over the course. You look at the amount of medals that Turnbull's won in the last couple of years. James Forrest, he's been there and done it. Callum McGregor, been there and done it. Joe Hart at the back. You could say, just playing devil's advocate, you could say it is a strong, strong team. But like Paul says, we could be just throwing caution to the wind with the experience. 6 out of 9 from home. Yep, that's it. We need to go on a massive run and get Scales to score from a corner. Yep, that is one that I definitely want to see. It's going to be tough tonight. Joseph, yes, definitely. Sevco had their penalty yet. A lot of people, yes, Jason, there is a lot of Scottish in Spain. Yes, there is. And there are three, in half an hour's drive of where I am in three different directions. There are three Celtic supporters clubs, and they're well supported. There's three of them. Sam Mack, on the day Oz scores a hat trick, my dad comes back with the milk. Reece, on my hat to that was an absolute cracker. The Scottish weather, yeah, it's absolutely chucking down. I've seen a couple of my mates that were in Glasgow an hour before kickoff, more than an hour before kickoff, and they were saying, boys that came over from Belfast, and they were saying, why didn't we stay at home and watch this? So we have weekend games again, weeknight games again. Yeah, weeknight games are good. Good to go to as well. I think Yang will do something different. What's wrong with CCV? They've just been careful. Jeff, I think we've just been careful. I think it's just resting them. Just resting them, right? I'm going to jump into James with a hat trick. Jokes are getting better. Right, I'm sorry, I'm going to jump. What is the team? Please, James, the team is along the bottom of the video. Hart, Johnston, Phillips, Scales, Taylor, McGregor, O'Reilly. So if you look along the bottom of the screen here, that is the team. Turnbull, O'Reilly, Turnbull, Forrest, Palmer, and Kyogo. I don't want any nerves. I can't 2-1, but I'll take a 3-0. Awata on the bench. No, Awata is not on the bench. Awata is not on the bench. I'll zoom in and let you see the bench for those of you who haven't seen that. That is the bench. That is not a strong bench. It's not a strong bench. Awata isn't on the bench. So could be the fact that we're resting a lot of players. Could just be the fact that we're resting a lot of players. I'm going to jump right through to AJ. AJ on the bench. No, Alistair Johnson starts. Alistair Johnson starts the game. Right. Talking about come on in Radio Scotland, the build up now. Yep, I'm going to do it about another 5 minutes, and then I'm going to get some scan to get ready to watch myself. Um, Mikey Johnson is on my January exit list. Mikey Johnson's not even on the bench tonight either. Will it be the fact that he's keeping? Well, Mikey Johnson needs to be kept for the Champions League game because of the whole Scottish. Uh, is the save got cancelled? No, they play tomorrow night. They do play tomorrow night. Don't forget, we've got another 2 games to play within a week. So rotation is key. Yeah, exactly. Um, it is Baz. It is what? What are you talking about? Yeah, he is what? You've got me on that one. But yeah, Lanky, we've got another couple of games. We play Madrid on Tuesday. That's the big game. So I think we see Alistair Johnson isn't he, on the bench. Oh, there's the team. Which part? I've got the team down the bottom. Look, Alistair Johnston, Johnson, Phillips, Scales, Taylor, McGregor, O'Reilly. It's along the bottom of the screen. There's the team for you. There we go. There we go. A whack on bench. Tomoki. So he is. Tomoki Awata. No, so he is. There you go. Just read it again. Tomoki Awata is on the bench. There you go. Could Awata come on and do something? Who would Awata come on for tonight? Gonna be it's not gonna be Turnbull, it's gonna be McGregor. Maybe McGregor will come off in the 75th minute. The Huns play tonight. Is it tonight they play? Well, I didn't know that. I thought it was tomorrow night. It shows you I don't watch anything that does to them. Yes, sadly, it's on Radio Scotland medium wave, but the Zombies game, oh, there's no doubt. Just see things differently. It needs to put players down before you even kick the ball. Yeah, there is no need to put our players down. I think every player at Celtic does try their best, and just because Turnbull's Scottish, I think he's still got a bit of life in him. Whether Brendan Rodgers sees enough in him to give him a new contract is something there. They're away to Dundee tonight. Heard it could be -8 up there. Come on, is Dundee going to do anything against that lot? I was after seeing the pictures of the rain in Dundee. I was kind of hoping that their game would be called off. Mikey is only here because of his passport, like Bain. Yep, something today. You're absolutely right about that. But it is what it is. All teams round about Europe have to do the same things. And we'll talk about that in another day. But the fact that we need to be bringing Scottish players through the youth system like we did before. The bench is actually a luxury. Yeah, there's no such thing as a bench anymore. Kaiser's in the house. He's in late. I will be going live after the game tonight. Again, Kaiser, if you're up for that. Thank you. Turnbull reminds me of Paul Lambert. And he's going to do something special. But it's funny because Paul Lambert, Lanky, remember a couple of weeks ago, spoke about David Turnbull, and he says at his age, talking about Paul Lambert being at 24 and Turnbull being 24, Turnbull is actually a better player, Paul Lambert said. Paul Lambert is a better player than what um, the one and only Paul Lambert was at that age. So that's what Paul Lambert said. And then you've got to remember, Paul Lambert left Motherwell just like what Turnbull did, but then Paul Lambert went to Germany because no team in Scotland, remember, no team in Scotland wanted Paul Lambert at the time. No one wanted Paul Lambert. Celtic went back and got him and brought him back from Germany. His family wanted him back home at the time, remember. And, he wasn't sure about coming back to coming back to Scotland, Paul Lambert, but Celtic fans are definitely glad that he did because he went on to have a fantastic career and he stopped the 10. He did. Even until he was offered a new contract, he won't sign in Paul's opinion. It's an interesting one. I think he really needs to. He's the type of player that needs to be playing every week, every week. And I think so. It was. It was St Mirren. Was that St Mirren and then moved to Motherwell? Well, there you go. Was it St Mirren then moved to Motherwell? There you go. I couldn't remember that far back. It was a long, long time ago. Anyway, watching old Borage saves earlier, I realised just how much I miss him. I miss that character between the sticks. Yeah, Borage was absolutely fantastic. Bet for a hun. Yeah, a Dundee player. We'll put it off early. So let's just recap that team again. We've got Joe Hart in goals. We've got Alistair Johnson. We've got Nat Phillips. We've got Scales. We've got Taylor, McGregor, O'Reilly, Turnbull, Forrest, Palmer, and Kyogo. There's a variety of scores that people are thinking tonight. A complete variety of scores. Yeah, James, you're right. Palmer went on trial at first at Dortmund, and their fans talking about banners and everything. Their fans put out massive banners wishing Paul Lambert all the best. They didn't want him to leave. They didn't want him to leave. But at the time, Paul Lambert did have a small family, and they didn't really settle in Scotland and in Germany, and that's why they came back to Scotland. Talking about the game tonight, the bench just gives us all fear. We could do with Paul Lambert. We could do with another Paul Lambert. We need players that can come in. Let's face it, that do have experience. Could be the fact that tonight we are just resting players. We are just resting players for the Champions League game, because let's face it, we can take something from this team in Madrid. We can definitely take something from this team in Madrid if we have all our players performing at that highest level for a good part of the game, like we did at Celtic Park. The players, I mean, we're talking about a game on Tuesday before we've even talked about the game tonight. There will be a live as soon. In fact, it'll probably start just before the game finishes this evening. I will start the live just before the game finishes so that we can get as many people on and we'll talk about the game. I will be live with the one and only Kaiser, and we'll sit and we'll talk about everything like watching real live Halloween zombies wandering the streets up in Dundee tonight. I think every player in the squad has a chance to prove themselves, says Reece, when you're playing at Celtic. You only have so many chances. That is true. That is so true. But a lot of people say that the likes of Mikey Johnson has had his time. He's had his chances. Let's just hope for a fantastic win tonight. Let's hope that the fans make as much noise as they can. And I mean the fans all around the stadium. I'm sure they will. But it's all down to the players when they cross over that line, and it's all about the guys on the pitch. Some might struggle, some might not. It could be the fact that we do go out and put in a fantastic performance. Players are playing. Players will be playing in this game tonight, saying, "I want on that flight. I want on that flight to make sure that there's a chance I can get on that team. That I can get on that team in Madrid." Because let's face it, it's a fantastic, fantastic stadium. Anyway, on that note, I shall see you after the game. I'm off to get some scran. I will start the live just before the game finishes. So if you aren't at the game, make sure you jump on. If you are at the game, make sure that you jump on right as soon as you get back to your bus or you're back out of the cold and wet. And then we'll talk about the game and how it transpired and what the final result was. And hopefully it was a Celtic win. Have a fantastic evening. Hail, hail.